What's up, sons? It's Blind on with Son of Attack once again. And today I have an Intel Pentium Gold G5400. I went with the lowest model possible to get tested for y'all. We're going to get into it. Today we're going to be going over synthetic benchmarks. So we're going to take a look at Cinebench. We're going to take a look at Geekbench. We're going to take a look at user benchmark. I did want to make some B-roll for the live streams as intros, just so you guys have something cool to see. So you actually see the processor. So thanks. Glad you guys noticed that. We're going to hop into it. If you guys aren't aware of what this processor is, it's the new Pentiums for Coffee Lake. They are essentially old school, previous gen would be equivalent to like a 6100 or 7100. You're talking about a dual core processor with hyper threading, so 2 cores, 4 threads. This particular one is the lowest model, so you got 4 megabytes of cache along with a 3.7 gigahertz, and I'm not sure what the turbo is. We're going to find that out right now. Now, bear with me because I didn't get a chance to get all of the stuff installed. We did get Windows installed. We're on build 1803, which I haven't been digging a lot lately. I don't know if you guys have messed with it, but it's not that great. I do want to say welcome to everybody in the chat. So, hi, hey, I'm gonna call you hey because I'm gonna botch that up if I don't. Crypto Kush, welcome to the stream. Bitcoin Jake and Nemesis 419. Thanks for being here, guys. So, I did a little bit of night. I'm not gonna lie, we nighted it. So I'm going to go pick up hardware monitor first and all of that sort of stuff in CPU-Z and get it installed. It shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to kind of go through that. You guys start asking questions as you go. Like I stated before, we kind of just do this live so everybody gets a chance. I also clicked the wrong button there like a pro. I do not want the pro. I want the regular, please. Why does he keep taking me to pro? There we go. And we want to grab a CPU-Z. Never show me this ever again. Hey Javi, welcome to the stream. Milan, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And let's see, we're going to grab CPU-Z as well. All of the parts that are in this build currently are in the description below in case you guys are curious. We have the ASRock Z370 Killer SLI motherboard. We have 16 gigabytes, but I recommend the 8 gigabyte kit. I just don't have an 8 gigabyte kit, and I want to make sure I'm running dual channel of the Kingston Savage DDR4. It comes stock at 2400 megahertz. It is running currently at 2666. And we have a Zotac GT 1050 in here as well. And it's all powered by EVGA 750G2. Chai, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? There we go there. Should be everything. Yeah, so we'll grab a CPU-Z here real quick. I'm also going to go get Cinebench. We'll start figuring out what this CPU can do. So I'm pretty excited for these because these come in, well, I got this one for $60. It is now more than $60 on Amazon, which is kind of a disappointment. I hope that they go back to $16 or $60. 16 would be amazing, because I don't think that $60 is getting a little up there for this particular processor, in my opinion. Or $70 is, and it's currently $70. But I don't know. We'll see how good it is, right? watching while working on something urgent. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, taking the time out of your day. I hope that your urgent problem goes away quickly. We are getting all of the synthetic benchmarks I can think of at this time downloaded. And we can start here shortly. We can just go to user benchmarks, so we don't really have to worry about that. Geekbench will be the last one we need to install. It's like you all the time. There you go. Shade Raid, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? So we got everything we need right here. So first off, as you can see here, we have the Intel Pentium Coffee Lake. Max TDP is going to be, it says 58 watts. I think it's 60 watts. This is pretty high. Let's see, 14 nanometer, nothing new there. So we got the Intel Pentium Gold G5400 at 3.7 gigahertz. And our memory timings are not showing up. Is it showing up over here? No. Interesting. So we might have to restart that. Oh, you know, I might actually have to go get the chipset. Not now. Because I think I didn't install chipsets. I've been rushing to get this out. If you make your own coin daemon for SOT, you can use it with your Minecraft plugin. Alright, I will keep that in mind. I don't know why I did that there. Usually then it's easier to do this. There we go. How's Twitch been? It's been slow. It's been slow, but you know, I'm just playing games over there, so you know, I'm not a super good gamer. It's not really my thing, but I enjoy it, so that's always good. And I don't know if we need anything. Let's go look. Device manager. Why does device manager not come up? There we go. I hate how Windows does that. Let's just make sure we have no crazy. Looks like all the drivers are here. Before we get going too far. Yeah, it's got all 4 threads showing up for that. So that's good. Hey, holla for $1. Thanks for the $1, bud. I haven't seen any posts on your YouTube about your Twitch streams. So I don't, because whenever I post those videos, people just immediately hit dislike. So I just stopped posting them and I just stream on Twitch. I'll just be honest with you. People don't like it when I put it up there, so I just don't. That's pretty much it. And then, you know, YouTube, I do all of this live testing stuff on. That scaling is too much for me. There we go. That's a little better. That was 0.006 Litecoin. I will take it. Hey, Bimby, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? So, I'm going to run the CPU-Z benchmark. And we'll run that first. Let's just put it, let's put a bench against I don't know. There's not a lot of good options here. There's no i3s on here or anything. I mean, I guess we could just throw it up against a... Is there any quad cores in here? Even quad cores? I thought I saw a 2600K. That's a i7. It's 8 thread. There's the 7600K. Which will beat it. But, you know, we'll at least get an idea where this is at. Your post deleted? What do you mean your post deleted? I saw it. If you guys don't mind hitting that like button if you're enjoying this type of content so I know what to continue with and what not to continue with, that would be awesome. If you dislike this type of content, the more laid back, I understand. You can hit the dislike and then I'll know, and then we can weigh it out from there. Is it done? Yeah. Okie dokie then. So, it's actually not that far off of an i3-6100. We're at a 1066. And a 6100 is at a 1079. So there you go. Not too shabby. What about the single thread was a 386. 386 is going to put us right around here. So we're beating out the G5400. Thank God we got an improvement. Beating out the Ryzen 3 1200 in single thread, just so you guys know. This is stock speed though. And I'm going to screen cap that. And then we'll grab the screen cap of this. Let me pin this, of course. Once again, all the parts are in the description in case you're curious. That's not right. We already screen capped that, right? Yeah. I want the 1066 score. Oh, duh. Click this. So here's the 1066 score. Beating the 4600. Getting pretty close to the 6100. So I guess about where I would expect it to be. Nothing crazy. Alright, so that's going to be CPU Z. Not too shabby. Let's go ahead and check out Cinebench. Door slamming. Dude, Trayvon James tokens are at 250,000 in total contract now. I don't even know what that means. Look at them, just 4 boxes at a time. That's old school right there, boys. That's old school. Zzz. By zzz, you mean zippy, super speedy, super speed engaged, Shade Raid. Best processor ever made. Hey man, I paid $60 for this processor, so I'm not feeling too shabby about it. It's 70 now. We'll see if it's worth 70. I don't know. Any idea on why your hash went up? No. What are you mining? We got a 402. It's really not that bad, actually. I don't know if we can overclock it though, Jimmy. We'll have to see how far we can go with the block, of course. But we always got to get our base benchmarks first. Are you guys ready to wait for forever? Because we are about to wait for a long time. Now, I do need to confirm boost here in a bit, because I'm not sure how fast boost is. I didn't think about that. Do I know the GPU limit of simple mining? No, I do not. I mean, I would assume it shouldn't have... Well, I mean, you're going to be limited based on Ubuntu. Of course. I just got on, let me get this right. This thing will beat my G4560. I think it will, Andre, but we don't know. Isn't it? How much does a 4560 have in it? I don't know. I haven't looked at a G4560 in a while. What is a G4560 got? How about you tell me in chat so I don't have to Google it? G4560. That's what we're testing for, though, so we can learn. I think the answer is yes, though. Pretty positive it's a yes. So I'm getting stats of the G4560 of having 3 megabytes of cache. So this has 1 more megabyte of cache. 3.5 gigahertz, so it has 100 so it has 100 more megahertz. This one does over the G4560 stock, of course. $65 retail recommended customer price, about the same. And 2 cores, 4 threads. So this should be a slight improvement over the G4560. Yes, not a ton. I'm vaping on Bazooka. Sour straws is what it's called. It's a sour apple. It's delicious. SMOS will not boot up with the 13th GPU GTX 1070 Ti. It seems that 12 is the limit. Nemesis, that's interesting. I'd have to confirm with SMOS. I've really not stayed up to date with SMOS because I've moved everything to Hive. I feel like Hive is superior. But I don't know if Hive will support more than 12 GPUs. So I should message him and ask him, because that might be interesting. I can at least message him. That build, Hive is not built on Ubuntu if I recall correctly. It's built on it's still on Linux. It might still be Ubuntu, and then it has a it's not using X. I'm trying to remember what GUI it uses. I always just use the panel now. I got busy in my throat. That's some quality entertainment. Barrett says Hive OS is way better. He has 16 GPU rig on it. So that sounds like a lot more than 12. That fizzy. Why is my phone going nuts? You stop. I'm gonna mute you. There we go. Muted. Game over. Okay. Coming up on the finish line for the single-threaded score. Holy shit, it just went 151. It's better than Ryzen. That's an affirmative. Stock. Ryzen stock. Let me clarify before I get yelled at. Not Zen Plus. I guess it would be better than Ryzen. No, because Zen Plus was about 150. My 2700 at least. But not the X's. X's are better. Stock. Cine. Single. I renamed one wrong. I named one wrong, but I can see what it is, so it's fine. Okay, so that's Cinebench out of the way. Let's get cooking into some Geekbench. Let's get a Geekbench out of the way now. If you overclock shades, sure. I did not get 170 stock out of 2700. I got like 150. Actually, I think it was exactly 151. 64-bit, OpenCL. We just want to run the CPU benchmark. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Shade. Yeah, go watch my video. Go watch my video. I got real good overclocks, though. I got like 1858 on the Ryzen 7 2700. Ryzen 1200 versus G5400. Well, we don't know yet, Game Zane. I would lean, I would lean towards the 1200 personally, but we just did a couple benchmarks, and this is beating it in CPU Z benchmark. I haven't cross-referenced the Cinebench benchmarks yet for the 1200, but we'll find out. That's what we're doing right now. So it did beat the 1200 in single thread score on CPU Z, and not by a little bit, but it looked like quite a bit. So possibly, if you're going for a super budget build, maybe, but who knows? I think there's going to be a place for both of them. Here's my question. Do the PCI lanes removed from the 2200G make it worse for mining multiple cards than the 1200? I think so. Shade. I would not put it in with a miner personally. you only get 8 lanes. So you're going to get capped out on cards eventually. Because 8 of the lanes are walled off. There are not enough lanes on the 2200 and 2400G to make it more than a home media PC or budget gamer, in my humble opinion. Your upgradability options are cut short too, because you're not going to be able to effectively run a GPU and an NVMe protocol drive in that system, which sucks. So a single core score of 4,754 and a multi of 9,354. Let me see if I can remember this. Ugh. I just want to save it. Yes. All right, cool. That'll let me save it. It's really not bad there. What are we looking at then? So what we could do real quick for you guys is I could do the 1200 was the question, right? Which, how much is the 1200 now? I guess I should look that up before I make my video. Yeah, I mean, so these are going to be overclocked. Most of these are going to be overclocked. If we're looking at what I would think stock would be at, I think it's going to be around this. But it's hard to tell what are stock entries and what are not. But even overclocked, which, let's see what the highest is 5,000. So even overclocked, I mean, it's getting pretty close as far as single core. It's not touching it on multi-core. What's the lowest multi-core? Nah, scratch that. That doesn't even count. Scratch most of these because something's not right there. So there's no way that's a correct score. Yeah, I can't tell unless I go run my... Oh, hold on. Man, I do not have a 1200 in here. But see, there's the single core on Zen Plus and the single core on the Pentium there. Yeah, so if the 1200 is $95 or $75 to $89, it's not really in the range of this process. This processor, you shouldn't pick it up unless it's $60 to $65. I have a 1200 sitting here somewhere, but I'd have to actually go retest everything. Could always pull up my video too, but what was it? So Ryzen between 75 and 89, but you said wow, it's 95 on Newegg. Yeah, so they're not really in the same league. You're talking about a 30% price difference. You're talking about a 30% price difference. So it's not even, in my book, you're not even looking at this processor if you're looking at a Ryzen 1200. Okay, Lee, I plan on building my wife a mining rig and thinking about just getting GeForce 1080s for 5 to 570 each. Let me get 12 of them. I know there's not the fastest ROI, but it's best for the start. What would you mine with 1080s? I would mine Ravencoin, Lee. Well, not even that. I mean, if you're talking about an entry-level gaming build, and I don't know how much. Because I put this together with a GTX 1050, right? And maybe I'll have to adjust that. But a GTX 1050 for $150 plus the $60 for the processor plus $100 for the memory, because you don't have to get fast memory to get the gaming performance out of it like you would with a Ryzen 1200. You're looking at $210, $310. You need about a $35 power supply. So you're talking about at that point $345. It was $60 for the new motherboards, the H boards, H310s or whatever they're called. So $415 plus and then a drive, throw in a get a I don't know, get a cheap Western Digital blue drive for another $100. You're around $500. I don't see anything wrong with that necessarily. The question would be, and I'll test that because I have the 2400G. I gave the Disturbed my 2200G. But Shade, as soon as you add the GTX 1060, you can't add an NVMe drive. So that's my problem. Like, I don't know if we're talking about budget. Yeah, I'd lean towards that. But even if you put like a GT 1030, I'd rather have a GT, well, not a 1030. I'd rather have the GTX 1050 though, I think, than a 2400G. We'll have to do some more in-depth. Not anymore, Shade. What I picked up, it should be in the description. This ADATA drive, really cheap. And they are so much faster, dude. Like, incredibly faster. And if you're talking about buying some budget parts and then wanting to upgrade, the first thing I'd always want to upgrade is to an NVMe drive. Period. I mean, 9 times out of 10, that's what I can't live without anymore. See, if I spent $1,300, I mean, I have like a couple $1,100 builds, and I'd get the NVMe all day over even like, I'd rather have a GTX 1060 6GB and an NVMe than a GTX 1070. Because the 1070 is not going to get me to a resolution scale that I like anyways at that point, right? Once you use NVMe, it's like when you went from a hard drive to a solid state drive. I just don't. I mean, there are people that will say it's not that big of a difference. I think they're full of crap. But I think people are full of crap when they say that 4K is not much of a difference from 1080p or 1440p too. The Xbox One X alone, which uses like more scaling stuff or more checkerboarding, looks better than PS4. Because PS4 a majority of the time runs at 1440. when I play on PC, the 4K looks a lot better than 1440. So I equate it to that. Yes, I really like NVMe. We've come to that conclusion. I don't have any. I have 3 normal solid state drives, I think, at this point. SATA. Get yourself an NVMe with at least like 800 read or 1100 read, 800 write from like ADATA. Use it as your boot drive. It'll feel good, buddy. It'll feel good. Especially if you do any sort of content creation. 4K playback, real-time 4K playback helps a lot in like Premiere, especially. So if you do anything like that, you'll notice a huge difference right away. What other... Because we're going to do like gaming tests later, so I guess I'll save Firestrike and all that for like tomorrow night. What other render tests should we do? I guess we could do the Ryzen Blender test. That might be fun. Stupid Windows. Do the Ryzen Blender test on a Pentium. It would be good to do because I have some to base it off of. Hey guys, just in. So how's it going? A new mining GPU? I think this will be my new go-to mining rig GPU. Yes, we will be doing that. Right now we're testing workstation stuff though. Because I want to do that first. Before I start, because I mean, the thing is all the old Pentiums are going to get phased out. It's just going to become the standard, like the G5400, you know, it's just going to be that. So we already know it's going to be that. I think the motherboard I have it paired with will work good for mining. It has 7 PCIe slots. It's down in the description if you want to check that out. Usually you can pick them up on like Newegg for about $139 without the AC Wi-Fi. I think like $170 with the AC Wi-Fi. What's the resolution on that G-Sync monitor, Shade? So this one got a pretty good score on the processor. Especially in single core. Look at that. 91%. So it is kicking a little ass there. It's kicking a little ass. Our GPU's not holding up too swell. I mean, I told you this was good. Why is it testing my SanDisk that I installed Windows with? And here's the Kingston HyperX DDR4. This is actually clocked at 2666 right now. 1080. I mean, I think that's probably about right then, Shade. I think 1080p is going to be phased out here pretty soon. Right? I mean, there's not really going to be a need for 1080p coming up. Coming up in like when the new NVIDIA cards launch. Especially with all the optimizations that have been made in operating systems, especially for DirectX and all of the engines that are running. And the amount of power the devs are starting to pull out of like the Xbox One X. I just don't know if we're going to need it. Majority of the cards. I don't know if that's true. I think it would be very game dependent, but I mean 1066 gig will do 1440 most of the time. So I don't know what the definition of majority of cards on the market, because if you say on the market, then you would clearly define the market as things that are being sold new that you can buy right now, which would be 5s, 50s and up, and 1030s and up, or whatever. But a majority of the cards on Steam, if you look at those and the amount of percentage that like even RX 580s are taking up, RX 580s, I mean, it's starting to get optimized to the point to where Microsoft games, like Microsoft Studio games, are running 4K on lower end hardware. Maybe not 4K 60 all the time, but it's possible, right? So what I wanted to do next was, oh yeah, we downloaded Blender. No, that's user benchmark. I thought I downloaded Blender. Download. Oh, cancel. Let's open downloads. It must be in here. Okay, it's already installed. And then we need to go Google the AMD because I think you can download it from, I think PC World has a mark from it. Here it is. Well, that's not good. Not really, because Ultra Detail has a whole bunch of bullshit anti-aliasing that you shouldn't have on anyways. Doesn't really make the game look better. And that also becomes very game dependent though too. But like just cranking the settings up is never what you want to do. Why is this broken? Maybe if we go to this portion first. Man, I don't want to have, I'll have to pull this off of another, file not found. Did they pull it off? Oh, those bastards. Aww. I still have it on a drive somewhere. But that drive's plugged in somewhere. I really wanted to do that test today. This is a new one of some sort. It's the barber shop. This isn't really going to do us any good. At all. Until we can run it on other stuff. Maybe if I Google this, somebody else has it somewhere online. No, everybody's downloading it from the same place, which doesn't have it anymore. Wonder why AMD would take that offline. It was a fun one to run. That was a really fun one to run. Okay, so there's some new barbershop one we can run. We'll run it. Whatever. We won't know how it compares to anything, though, until I run it on something else. Oop. I messed that up. I think this barbershop might be too much for this CPU. This is going to take us 3 years to benchmark, bro. It's going to take too long. I don't even see anything rendering. I'm going to cancel this. That looked like a way too long of a benchmark. We're just gonna overclock now. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go see how much we can overclock. Since we have it in a Z370 board, we might as well do the fun shit, right? Yeah, it's got like, it's getting like a few blocks every once in a while. No, not an update. Oh, you bastard. Hope it doesn't have to update much. That would be my luck, wouldn't it? If this ends up being like some sort of crazy... We're already on 1803, so I doubt there's like much to update. If anything at all. And then, I just need to trip it when it goes down. Oh, did I do restart? I hope I did. That would be cool. We'll let it boot once and then it'll probably be better. Only like another update, dude. Only another one. Oh, lordy. Another one. Third time's the charm. I'm feeling good about this one. Feeling good. Yeah, that's always nice. My 2700 and Threadripper are up on the shelf right now. Why does it keep saying update? Maybe I need to log in first. Yeah, we were benchmarking Threadripper the other day. There's a video on the channel. In Crypto Night and Crypto Night Heavy. It doesn't work with Elgato cards, so I can't use it for my daily system. 'Cause the chipset sucks. Sir, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? On V7, it's 960 hash a second. So not terrible. So we got all the base benchmarks out of the way, Surge. We are going to hop into some overclocking right now. If I can get the stupid updates to go away. I don't know why it keeps saying this because I installed the 1803 stock shade. I was comparing it. Yeah, on Threadripper. Because I was comparing all of the Crypto Night algorithms. It's also the basis of the latest video that's on the YouTube channel right now. The differences between light, regular. Shit, I forgot to hit delete. Light, regular, and heavy. And the scratch pad sizes and all that. A lot of the testing that we were doing that for was on Threadripper. So, hopping into advanced mode, just make sure that's still at 2666. So, max, interesting, max non-turbo performance was on, guys. So what if we turned on, let's benchmark, that's what it went to by stock. So how about we turn on turbo performance first and see if anything changed. I think we need to do that. You have to remember scratch pad size, Shade. So, let's see. What does... I got a 1600 over there right now. I don't know what that is. I guess that's 3.7 on all cores and threads. But ASRock set that automatically. So I guess now at this point we got to rerun Cinebench and see how far off it is. Right? For the sake of being accurate. But yeah, that is some bullshit. Because that means that we got to redo some of this shit. That is really weird that ASRock would set that automatic. Oh, I want to do all. And let me look at this. I got a 1600 over here. It is. How much cache? How much L3 cache does the? So the 2600 has 19 megabytes of cache. Which would be. Trying to do the math in my head, but I'm not doing that well. So. You would do 18 divided by 2, which would be 9. So that's the difference, Shade. And this is why Threadripper is only 300 megahash above. Is yes, it has 16 cores and 32 threads, and you only have 6 cores and 12 threads. But you can use 3 of your SMT threads because you're not cache limited. So you can use 9 cores. While on Threadripper, you are limited to 32 megabytes of cache. Okay? So you divide 32 by 2 and you're stuck with only 16 cores. Compared to the 9 cores on... Is that right? Yeah, compared to the 9 cores on this 2600. And I need to see, make sure, and then you're talking about each core performance was 60? Is that right? So if you were stock on a 1600, you would be at 9 times 60. I think that's right. Hold on, let me do this again. So it's 950 about divided by 16 equals, yeah, so 60. So you would be 9 times 60 per core. You'd be at 540 hash stock on a 2600 or 1600 because you get to use 9 threads effectively. That score's worse. Right? Yeah. 398 instead of a 402. So now my question is this turboing at all? It's within margin of error. So let me open this up real quick. Yeah, you would need more cache, Shade Raid. Essentially, it has 32 megabytes of L3 cache. And those algorithms are cache limited. So that's the difference that you're seeing there. And that's how you calculate it out. Watch my latest video. It explains it. So I just went through all of that testing. So I want to see, no, okay. So it is not boosting beyond 3.7. Hey PG, thanks for the info. We were trying that setting out to make sure. ASRock set it max frequency without boost or whatever. So I changed the setting to turbo. Obviously it did nothing. So at this point, we're gonna do max non-turbo performance, block frequency, well, let's do, can we do, it shouldn't matter right now at all. DRAM voltage, line load, V-core voltage, fixed. $1.35. Is that fair on this? Probably. 102, which would put us at, no. It says max at 500, so like why? It's only letting me to go up to 102. Which I thought it would be, we would get more of a unlock. Let me try, damn, that sucks. So that would just essentially remove the... It would bump the cache speed up? Is that right? Oh, okay, so we want to do 400 and then we want to go... No, that doesn't work either. Hey, Stale, you missed most of the benchmarking? I was gonna mess with and see if we could do anything fun, but it doesn't look like it. It does not look like we get to do anything fun. Earlier, it did have an offset mode, so I'm going to check the offset and see if we can go higher on the offset. Benching your new 1090T. Nice. How's that going, bud? I'm going to see if I can do something with offset at all. No. Oh, it doesn't have offset here. That was only voltage. So the only thing we could get possibly would be a boost in the cache. And we would want to actually go to our DRAM configuration, put this back to 2400. I don't even know if it'll boot at this, but we'll find out. That's probably fine here. Just for fun, it's probably not going to do shit if it even posts. Yeah, I like the Phenoms. 5750 for the win. I have a 5675. Oh, the GPU though. I had the 5675. I like it a lot. Still rocking it. Hey, we posted in with that. So the question is, with that little bit of block overclock, bumping up the cache speed, do we get an improvement in Cinebench or not? I mean, that's the only question I really have. Do we get a performance boost from bumping up that speed or not? Well, you GPU bottlenecking your bro over there, Stalewind? Just kidding. That's a nice GPU for the market right now. But god dang, you probably spend a lot of money on RX 580 right now. Should have got that battle pack. The battle pack's looking interesting. Is this, if it's still 550? What is that? The 1600, the motherboard, the B350 motherboard. I hit like 1850 on the 2700 with 3200 megahertz memory. It was overclocked though to 4.1. Come on, buddy. Give me 403 points for speeding that shit up for you. 409! Look at that marginal improvement. Yes! That's called Pentium Gold Overclocking Skills 101. We did it. I can say I overclocked a Pentium Gold G5400 now. I'm happy with that. Count it. Now it's just overclocking the cache. Essentially, it was a 102.7 block overclock, so 027 block OC. I mean, that's all we got. I mean, there's not really much else we get to do with this. We could see if we could push this memory further. Two cores, 4 threads, Tailwind. For $60 is what I paid. So I did see it went up to 70. I was disappointed with that. At $60 that I paid for it, it's pretty fucking good. It's pretty good. And there's not really anything at that price range that I would buy other than this that I can think of. Unless you can get a deal on a Ryzen 1200. Never forget about them threads. Hey, them threads are doing some work in this baby. Come on. Come on. Post. You can do it. Oh, look at that. $1.3 mega hash on what algorithm, Shade? On ETH? $2600X open box for $185, not bad on ETH. There's been a lot of ETH optimizations going on with the miners, with Claymore, which is the miner they use. If you go look at, if I say go look at, I did live testing of the RX 460. Actually, I was editing that video. It's not done yet, but I was editing it before I went live tonight. My days are crazy. I get up, I go to work, I go straight to the gym, I come home, I work on a video until I live stream, and then I live stream till 11. Then I go to bed and I wake up and do it all over again. So that's kind of what. That's why I'm not quite getting a video out every day, but I'm getting a good amount out. I still feel like, and being able to maintain going to the gym, so I'm happy with it. So we got in with 2800 memory overclock. Remember, this is 2400 megahertz memory from Kingston. It's the HyperX Savage. And so I'm actually really stoked that this memory is overclocking this well. But the RX 460 went from like 9.5, 10 to about 11.5, 12. On the RX 460, that is. Which is interesting. I'm salty that AMD now has the BIOS mod block on their new drivers, though. Tailwind, all the parts are in the description. The board is the ASRock Z370 Killer SLI. Yeah, non-AC wireless, but Amazon only had the AC wireless linked. So I think you can get the non-AC wireless on Newegg still. Because they're supposed to retail, this board's supposed to retail for like $139. $409 again. Damn you, Intel, for not getting faster memory. Not scaling with faster memory. Anything above 2666, it's like, nope. No, sir. No, sir. Well, if that was AMD, we would have gotten a crazy boost. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. This memory's overclocking good as hell, though, so I'm going to try 3000. Yeah, it's a nice drive. It wouldn't post with the 2400G though, or the 2200G. Tailwind. So keep that in mind. I gotta do a couple more BIOS updates. Who's on that ASRock Mini ITX board? It posts with the 1600. No, system failure. Alright, that's our max. That's our max overclocks, guys. We figured it out. So, we can answer the question that yes, you do get a performance boost if you overclock your block to 102.7. My question is, why doesn't it let me go above that? Why not? I did type in, I tried Shade. But this memory is pretty good. I'd recommend it. If you want to get something that's not going to break the bank but overclocks to 2666 easy. Yeah, it says 500 is max. That's what's weird, Shade. I tried typing in 200 for shits and giggles. It didn't do anything. I don't know. So 409 Cinebench score, multi-thread. What was it? We got. We'll just go through the list and wrap this stream up. Thanks everybody for being here. Hit the like if you liked it. Tomorrow we'll go through some gaming tests. But to catch everybody up that may have missed it, we had a 409 Cinebench score. It was 402 out of the box. Our Geekbench score was pretty badass as far as single core score was 4,754 and the multi-core was 9,354. So obviously they're not getting huge bumps out of the hyperthreading. Our Cinebench single core score was 151. Our CPU-Z multi-threaded was a 1066. So getting closer to that i3-6100 out of the box, which I think the 6100 has a higher clock, of course. But I mean, we're talking about a $60 processor, so not bad. And then on the single core, beating out the Ryzen 3 1200 with a 386, getting close to the i5 6500, and getting dangerously close to the Ryzen 7 1700. Pretty interesting. Of course, these are a little skewed, because I would think that the 1200, 1700, and 1600 would be around the same, but there you go. That wraps, oh yeah, and then this, the user bench score, because people usually like this. 65.4%, so it's a good, I don't know. The impressive part, of course, is the single core. For 3.7 gigahertz and not being able to go above that, getting 114 points is pretty good. Pretty much everything you would think or expect from it. It reads it as a quad core, even though it's 2 cores, 4 threads, and the hyperthreading seems to be implemented pretty well. Like I said, I picked it up for $60 on Amazon. Right now it's going for $70. It's still cheaper. It's still enough cheaper than the Ryzen 1200 that I wouldn't put them in the same box, right? Like if you said, should I get the Pentium G, what is it, 5600 or 5500? I'd say hell no, get a Ryzen 1200. But if you're talking about this price point, I think there's the other strong argument for it is high single threaded on low clocked memory. So the 2666, even at the 2400, you're getting a better single core score, and it's much cheaper memory than getting like 8 gigabytes of like something from G-Skill. So I think budget wise it makes sense. It has a place. I mean, Ryzen 3 2200G is a deal if you're not planning on running a dedicated GPU. However, it's the problem with the 2200 and 2400G is 8 PCI lanes are locked away, which is fine if you're planning on never upgrading, but you can't install a GPU along with an NVMe drive on a 2200G or a 2400G, and so your upgradability is shot on that portion. So I don't know how I feel about that. You'd be stuck with an SSD and a discrete GPU, or the built-in GPU and NVMe. So I don't know. That's it. That's the problem there. I'm not saying it's bad. Fuck, I fucking hardline liquid cooled one. I love them. What I'm saying is if you're talking about like buying for a reason to upgrade in the future, that's going to be the downside there. That's all. That's what I don't like about the only 8 PCIe lanes is not enough in 2018. I just don't think it is. I think this has a place in the market. That's all I'm saying. I think it has a place in the market for certain people. It's basically a 6100 or a 7100, a little bit lower clock for $60 when it comes back down to MSRP. For $70 right now, it's still $25 under the Ryzen 3 1200. So, I don't know. Seems good. And it's currently running with an NVMe drive and a GPU installed on it. So, it supports that. That's going to wrap it up for me today, guys. We'll do maybe some synthetic benchmarks as a system. So we'll do, the 1050 along with it. I want to see how it stacks up to the 2400G. Okay. So that's what I want to see. So if you were to buy a GTX 1050 and this processor as opposed to buying the 2400G, would that be a better option? It's going to be a little bit more expensive, right? Unless you factor in memory. Like I said, the thing that this gets is you don't get it's going to be a little unfair to have the 2400G with my G-Skill 3200 megahertz memory, because that thing scales fucking good with that. So I don't know. We'll have to talk about how we want to test it. I want y'all's opinion. There'll be a Discord link in the description below. Yeah, but if you go below 2666 shade, it gets pretty sketch. I don't know. I didn't have fun with it below 2666. But yeah, we could try to come up with some ideas. Hit the Discord. Let's talk about it. Thanks, everybody. We'll hopefully have that video out tomorrow for the RX 464 gigabyte mining. And then I have a controller review for the PS4. I wanted an asymmetrical controller, so I bought one and tried that out. So look forward to that this week as well. and then we'll get formal review out for this hopefully. More live testing tomorrow. I will end it with the B-roll. How's that?